Okay, YouTube. Got a call for this walk-in freezer. The compressor failed on it. It's running, it's not pumping. It was an old H.V.A.C condensing unit back in the day. Had a pot put on it by a competitor. It's failed, so I'm going to change out the whole condensing unit here, and we'll get into this. Okay, one of the first things you'll notice is there's no disconnect on this. It's old school. The breaker feeds it from inside the restaurant. Goes up to the, that's the walk-in refrigerator condensing unit. This is the freezer. So, the breaker on. Okay, I got it on the recovery. We'll pull the gas out. The old unit was R409. It was an old R12 freezer. It had been converted over before. That's all coming out, and I got the owner to open up for me. And this is the cooler in here. So it's a combo box. Got the walk-in cooler and then the freezer. And I got to get back on that side. Up in there, it's going to be fun. I got to replace the expansion valve to a 404A expansion valve. So it'll be fun. Okay, there's the old one out. It was up in there. There's an old H.V.A.C skid. Got a Tecumseh compressor on it. Somebody else did that. I noticed too, it looks like the fan blade's backwards on there. So, and oh, I didn't get it on film, but it looked like the pressure switch might have failed on this and took the compressor out. Okay, here's our new one. It says, your job just got easier. Woohoo! This electronic unit controller reduces your setup time from 25 minutes to 1 minute. Woo, get! So, here's the future right here. So, the new condensing units scroll, little Copeland scroll, low temp. You get a high head switch. Get your suction pressure switch, which is tied in with the electronic control. You get a liquid line temperature sensor. And you get some literature on how to set up your new control. It's basically your new low pressure switch. It also has high head cutout, a bunch of other alarms it'll look for. It'll give you, you can pull up your runtime, your fan motor hours. A lot of cool stuff on there. We'll get into that later. Okay, let's go over a couple things on these new ones. I put quite a few of them in already, so I can just give you a couple heads up. If you're going to be installing these, you're going to have to make your silver solder weld over here on your suction service valve. Right here where my finger is. And the best way to do that is to remove the suction pressure switch, take the rotor lock off the compressor connector. You want to back this valve out. If you weld on it with all this stuff hooked up, your valve stem can get stuck in there as the metal expands and contracts, and you can destroy this suction pressure switch. Okay, and on your high side over here, there's a warning label on there. You have to wrap these sight glasses in a wet rag. Okay, some of you guys want to use that goo stuff. That's fine, I guess. I always use a rag. These will spring a leak if you don't wrap them. Okay. Other than that, it's all straightforward. But those are the two main tips. Okay. Okay. So it comes apart like a car sensor. You can get all that out of the way. You get your wrench on here. Loosen this stuff up. That's your low pressure switch. That off of there. You can get that off. I don't think I brought the refrigeration wrench over. Let's see. Oh, had a little bit of nitrogen or Copeland compressed air in there. These do have a Schrader fitting on them, so when this dies, you're not going to have to recover the charge, even though you got this valve here, so I guess it makes sense. Get this guy backed up, and then I'm going to have to get my bigger crescent wrench. Let's see. No, this one will fit. Okay, with the valve out, I got it all prepped and ready for my fitting. Got the flex on it, and I got my silver solder, and we'll get it all welded up here, see how it comes out. Okay, and got a good little weld here. The silver solder. Looks good. Now I'll get this back on the compressor and put everything back together on there. Okay, got the condensing unit piped in here. Came around and bent up a little piece of pipe for the connector. Now we're going to go inside and see what we get into with this expansion valve. We got to change the H.V.A.C because we're changing refrigerants. So we're going from 409A, which is a R12 replacement, because it was an old unit that was R12. We're going to go to 404A. So I've already pulled a bunch of stuff out. This rack and stuff. Let me come in here. So, we got to get up here to get to the H.V.A.C. Okay, this one had a Danfoss flare. My competitor in town uses lots of those. I actually like those valves. That's old R12. We're going to take the flare one out, and we're going to sweat in. I got a Sporlan balance port I'm going to sweat in there today. Z-charge for freezer. And let me get this taken out, and we'll fit up the new one and then sweat it. Okay, valve's out. There's all the old connectors. I'll cut these off so we can sweat it in. I'm going to go get the other valve to fit it up. There's the old Danfoss valve out. Okay, here's the valve I got for the job. SBFSE A-Z balance port. 1/2 through 1 ton. Let's go take it in. Okay, got that little bugger sweated in. That was harder than putting in the condensing in it. Holy Toledo. Not much room up in here. You can see the walls right here. And it just, you just got to work your magic. Okay. Let's get some nitrogen in this thing. When we get it on the vacuum pump, we'll come back and take these fan guards off and clean them. They're pretty filthy. Okay, shut off the king valve on the liquid line, and I'm going to do a little pump down test. And you can see it's pumping down. It does have a time delay in it, so it won't short cycle built into the control. So I'll go ahead and open up the king valve. See our pressure's coming up. So you'll see it does have a time delay built into it. And you'll see the compressor icon flash. Okay, so that's going to do it for this one for today. I got to come back tomorrow when the box is down the temp, when everything's frozen again. The box got extremely warm. As far as checking superheat on the new valve and stuff, you got to check it when it's at set point. So that's what we're at.
So we're going to let it run overnight, and then we'll be back tomorrow to check it all. Thanks for watching.